Good evening, everyone. I am back, all tanned and rested from 11 days in Sydney. I come home to find that the 11th test of Starship could be happening before the end of next week. NASA selected Proteus Space for major design study. Which stock is stronger in 2025, Rocket Labs or Planet Labs? We're going to discuss. Meanwhile, despite the pressures on NASA's budget, their equivalent of Baghdad Bob still insists the agency is on track not only to send astronauts around the moon next year, but have a permanent village there within a decade. Japan's putting up a trillion yen fund for aerospace. And of course, leave it to me, I run into what has to be the one international incident at an international space conference dedicated to peace, kumbaya, and diversity. These and a lot more with our guest, Kuang-Han Ke. From the news desk at the Center of Space Commerce and Finance, my name is Thomas Andrew Olson, and this is The Unknown Quantity. And as you know, this show is sponsored by the Center for Space Commerce and Finance. And what do? As always, we champion and strengthen emerging space startups and space-adjacent enterprises worldwide through advisory, access, and advocacy. Our pitch events and world-class boot camps fortify startups to be better investor-ready. Now, a lot of our work, especially this podcast, is supported by our listeners and fans like you. So if you just go to cscf.space/support, and click that plain as day donate button. A little in the tip jar each month makes a big difference. Thanks in advance. Welcome now, my longest space friend, who's showing off his new space rosary beads, Michael Lane.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Today. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Had to. Yeah. Not much new in the space elevator, lunar elevator cult these days, but there's some stuff coming. There's some stuff coming, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Good.
How was your trip? Trekked around the world, got a tan, had to cause an internet, or was reporting on an international incident. What'd you get out of it? Like, what? Tell us about IAC.
Okay, well, I see. Well, obviously, I took a lot of meetings. I took meetings with 3 different investors, talking to them about the center and talking about some of the things we do. I'm hoping to get some sponsorships from them. Ultimately, at the Space Generation Congress, as you know, for some of us who weren't here, we did a really great elevator pitch event and gave away three $1,000 micro grants to 3 very deserving companies there. We talked about that. Just want to throw that out there again, because if I was getting feedback from that, positive feedback from the local people there, right up to the last day of IAC. Awesome. People I didn't even know were walking up to me saying, "Thanks for doing that. That was the most fun and exciting thing we've ever seen at an SGC."
That's awesome.
Great. So let's do it again for more money and more sponsorship.
Bring us back.
We'll run things and we'll have more fun, and we'll have a long-term relationship with the Space Generation Advisory Council, which is exactly what our evil plan was for. Our evil plot to help young people do better in space business.
Build out this giant space economy starts with those college students. So
That's me. That's me, Mr. Evil, out there trying to help people.
You lost a day going over. You gained a day coming back.
So the conservation of time has been preserved.
And then what? Do we know what the plan is for next year? Where are we going? Where's it going?
Okay, next year we're going to Turkey.
Turkey, cool. I would love to go to Turkey.
And Tola, it's a town begins with an A. It's right on the coast. It's a beautiful resort town.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's Anatoly, I think it's called. It's so you can fly either into Istanbul or Ankara and get a puddle jumper down there, and it's they set records. ISC set records, like 19,000 people attended this thing. When you include, but that also includes the local Sydney residents, because on the last day of the conference they open it up to the public.
Yeah, that's
You don't
fair.
need
That's fair.
get a pass, and they just let them in. And so there's all these kids running around the displays and stuff. We're going to be talking about the displays a little later in a way that's not so flattering.
Yeah,
but
right.
But that's
that's
what
good.
went on in my world. I took a bunch of meetings, and I had to. I'm also a member of the. We're also a member organization, the center of IAF. So I had to attend 2 big plenary sessions, closed sessions with them, and vote on stuff. And so what we voted on, apparently in 2028, we're going to Uzbekistan. That's going to be amazing.
That's what I was wondering about. All right,
that's going to be amazing. It was a there's a big fight between Uzbekistan, India, and Bahrain.
Yeah,
I liked Uzbekistan. I was really kind of leaning toward Bahrain. Yeah. I thought their presentation was amazing. I see what they have and what they can do. And it's like, oh, that would be great. 10 minutes from the door of your plane to the street. I mean, just that alone sold me, on that. The India presentation was just brass and in your face and, a little bit arrogant almost about India, we're India, and it's like, I have India fatigue lately, I think, maybe because of all the H-1B nonsense. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
I would rather see someone else get it.
I would like to go to India. That would be one of the places that I would really put some effort into it. But Turkey for sure. I think that would be pretty good. I think I'd really be interested in going.
Well, we're also
Uzbekistan as a developing space program. I'm curious to see what their priorities are.
Can't wait to look at that. But next year in Turkey, we're also looking at the idea of talking to several people about this, including the folks that helped me with this last event, to do an actual space investment summit in Turkey. We may have a couple potential sponsors for that already. And one guy I'm talking to has so many connections. It's like we were at a meeting with him. He's also an investor. He doesn't do early stage space stuff, but he knows everybody. He's rattling off a list of people that he knows in Turkey, going, "This is who you should invite. These are the people right here you should invite." Oh my God.
All right.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yes. We're going to do that. That's going to be fun.
Right on.
Awesome. So we got that. So we got that going for us. What else? Oh, we had a kind of a semi-secret meeting between the Space Entrepreneurship and Investment Committee and some people, so just certain interested people who were invited, like me, and some interested parties like Dan Faber from Orbit Fab and a few stakeholders, in the industry stakeholders were there, and a bunch of people from the U.S. Office of Space Commerce and a guy from the State Department. And this unofficial meeting was basically about how can we start to build the lunar economy.
Oh my God! It's about time that commerce got involved with that.
It's like, shit, this is what's going on. And so we had a great talk. We all dashed in. Of course, who was the first guy to speak and break the ice? It had to be me. Everyone was like, because I've been jabbering all week at that point. Now, following Wednesday, and we're doing this thing, and everybody's kind of waiting around. Everybody's waiting for each other to start talking. So it's okay, I'll do it. And I started talking about space property rights because we just did 5 podcasts on that topic, which I reminded them of. If you're listening to my show, you already know this, right?
Yeah.
But I got some great contacts out of that too from the Office of Space Commerce. So now we got it in, man.
Cool.
We're working up the ladder.
That's great. I would like to talk to that guy. Let's have that conversation.
Absolutely. Those guys were amazing. And they want to do it again formally next year and have it actually be on the schedule.
All right.
Yeah. We'll be back in Turkey.
Well, that's a great segue into let's talk about NASA for a second.
Talk about Baghdad Bob and all his prediction.
Well, right. Like, I've got the wrong link up. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we're going with yours. Go with the ones you sent. Yeah, but they're pretty close.
Yeah, no, I just hit the wrong now. That we got two NASA topics.
We actually have three, but we left one out for another day.
Yeah. So, at IAC, the acting administrator, Sean Duffy, went to IAC, committed, doubled down on a village on the moon in a decade. Russia didn't go to that meeting. I thought that was kind of interesting. But the Duffy's quote, "We're going to have a sustained human life on the moon, not just an outpost, but a village." Mm-hmm. A nuclear-powered village is what they're looking for. I just like seeing it. I know we've talked about it like 27 times, but the more that guy steps to the microphone and keeps saying it, the more money's going to flow into that topic. The RFIs are already starting to happen. Yep. The RFPs are on their way. So, yeah, it's just kind of cool to see. Not a lot to say that's new. It's just keep saying it and say it at that international level. I think
that's important. And it was, But they also said that other article you mentioned, they talk about they're insisting that they're on track to send astronauts to orbit the moon in not in any time in 2026, but early 2026. Michael, do you believe this?
Okay, all right. So let me just look at my calendar. All right, it's still October. To me, that's the end of 2025, right? We're already starting to wind down for the year. Yeah, and so let's just be generous and say it's second quarter of 2026. Seriously generous. That's still only 6 months away. Only 6 months away. Is that a real thing? Is that really going to happen? Because I am scared.
There is an outside chance, then you're saying, that we might see it during ISDC in McLean, Virginia, the second week of June.
I mean, that is feeling really generous, but that's 9 months away. Like maybe you can pull that off. But if you're saying early 2026, I'm January, February, March is early by my definition. So that's 4 months, 5 months out.
I know. They're still assembling.
What's the spacecraft? What spacecraft are they going to use? Now they're not talking about landing. They're talking about
this is a Frank Borman flight. This is basically we're just orbiting the moon and for a while and then coming back.
Yeah. But is the spacecraft ready? Are the suits ready? Because those were the continual hard.
I think they're okay on the suits. Well, it's which version of Orion are they going to be testing?
Yeah, and do you want to be on that flight? Because I don't want to be on that flight. Given what's happened so far,
that's what they signed up to do. Thousands are called, and 50 are chosen. And so you better be able to put on the monkey suit and get in that capsule and do what the F you're told to do because that's what you signed up for.
Right. All right. Moving on. Still sticking with NASA for a second. NASA selects Proteus Space for novel rapid spacecraft concept study. What I really dug into this is a press release, so this is totally biased to what Proteus put out. Like this is their document. But what I really love is a quote: "The 45-day effort will encompass system engineering, bus and subsystem analysis, mechanical and structure design, orbital operations, life cycle costing, and decommissioning." So they're going to go from zero, spend 45 days, and have a plan. Right. I love that. I love that so much.
From startup to end of life. That's pretty good.
Right. That's pretty good. That that tells me this kind of the state of AI at this point, because there's no way you could pull that off if it's the old standard modeling systems that we would have. So super excited about this. Definitely going to be watching it. I want to copy it for my own system. So yeah, pretty interested. Without going into details, I know recently somebody submitted a NASA proposal. They did not get selected, but they were talking about an AI assisted design iteration.
Okay.
And so it's coming. Like that is the tech that we have now. So I love the idea of a 45-day.
Well, we'll see how well AI does with that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of AI. We could do a whole show on that. And I have the guy who might be the perfect guest for it, because he's a big skeptic, and he's written some very interesting things about the model that they're using to even build AI in the first place. And so it doesn't mimic human thought in any way. It just is an advanced calculator. So
I've been having a lot of trouble, like, getting into kind of my own story. I had some high expectations for AI, and I've been really frustrated because it's using bad data, and it's propagating throughout. So every time I do something, I have to check it against the real world, and there's bad data in my AI, and it's really getting frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know where they get stuff or who programs it, but yeah, I've had similar experiences, and sometimes they say, no, you can't tell me this, because I know it's not true. This is what's true.
Oh, it's not true.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yep. You're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. It's like, well, get it right.
Yeah.
Where are you getting this
shit? Get it right the first
time.
Right. I'm not going to be dependent on you if I know that you're regularly wrong.
Yeah.
I think the phrase they use is confidently wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That makes me insane. All right, what do we got here? What do you want to talk about next?
Here what it is. Someone is already doing comparisons. Rocket Lab versus Planet Labs. Which space stock stands stronger in 2025?
I think that's pretty interesting. Again, every time we talk about equities and stocks, we always make the decision. Neither Tom nor I currently carry licenses. At the time we did, but we are not investment professionals. Do not take this as advice. But it is pretty interesting now that you've got a couple pretty strong publicly traded companies starting to get comparison. Rocket Lab is great. Planet Labs is great.
Yeah.
Actually, Planet. It's a stretch, but yeah, okay, technically. It's really kind of cool that they're both out there. I think they're both really strong myself. Planet, I'm a diehard fan of Planet. I've been a fan of them since. Gosh, did they just get started in 2010? 2010, I think. It was in that range. So, I mean, it's taken them 15 years. We don't have this slide. I have it on a different article. But it's taken them 15 years or 14 years to get to profitability. They're solidly profitable now. And they're probably going to stay there unless something radically bad happens. And that cash flow positive for a while, but profitable. That's it took a while for them to get there.
Yeah, Planet Labs has less money in the bank, but they're just stable, and now they're upping production of their next generation Pelican satellites in Germany, and so that's going to bolster their footprint in the Euro market.
Right.
And they're making new data they're making new data products, but they have $278 million in the bank. Rocket Lab has $688 million in the bank. But they just completed their 70th Electron launch. And so that's
Yeah.
kind of cemented their Electron's position as one of the most frequently launched small orbital rockets and highlighted their leadership in responsive space. They still have a long ways to go to catch up with Starship, and with
sure.
SpaceX, but hey.
Yeah. They had SpaceX had a pretty big lead on everybody. So
yeah,
I would like to dig in for a second more on Planet, because that move of setting up shop in Berlin is very smart. So last week, Tom, you were traveling, but we talked about they had that $41 billion new fund from the German government to go into the commercial space sector, specifically into the defense commercial space sector. And then this week Tokyo does the same thing. Not as big. It's only $8 billion compared to $41 billion. But remember, but just a month ago we're like, this is the biggest deal of the year, right? And then Germany comes in with their $41 million. And
someone else says, hold my beer,
Yeah. Right. Japan says, hold my sake, right? Like, so those are the three biggest. I still am going to say those are the three biggest deals of the year. I really would be surprised if somebody beats 41 billion or 8 billion from Tokyo or 19 billion from SpaceX. So I still say that those are probably the biggest deals of the year, but I keep being surprised. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and the year ain't over.
The year ain't over, right?
The year ain't over. And of course, SpaceX just announced they're going to do Starship 11 sometime, maybe by the end of next week.
Yep, end of the month.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's new. I didn't realize it was that quick. Okay, that's good. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the 18th is their start of their window.
Oh, that's earlier than I thought. Yeah, I was not tracking that. Good catch.
They're actually going to take some. They're actually going to take some tiles off, some thermal tiles off, in key spots, just to test the stressors.
Okay.
So they're going to do some of the same things they did on the last flight, but they're going to throw in some new ones now. We want to test this. So if we lose a handful of tiles, what happens?
Okay. Yeah.
How can we handle it? Because it's built as stainless steel. It's built as something completely different from other craft in the past. Right. They want to test all that.
Love it. Fingers crossed, y'all. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Oh, we already did that one. Dream Chaser is looking to launch, so that's pretty interesting. Not going to do commercial cargo supply to ISS. That contract got cut about 3 weeks ago, but they're still committed to flying, so that's pretty neat.
We've been waiting how long for them?
A long,
another 15-year wait, right?
Right. It's a pretty good looking spacecraft, though. I gotta say, it looks like a spacecraft.
It does, and now it's got to look. Now it's got to look like it's flying.
Yeah, it's gonna be like not on the ground when they take this.
Right.
Yeah,
and not like something out of an old TV show from the 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we just talked about Planet again in Berlin, so that's kind of cool. Opening up contracts. All right, I'm going to skip that one because we kind of talked about it along the way.
There was one that came up on Space Daily maybe today. It was NASA's looking for some student contributions for lunar lander life support tech. And they got a small piece, a little tiny grant involved, little bigger in our micro grant, but not a lot. But they're willing to, get some ideas out there. Well, we know some people that in the student community. They would love to give them some ideas. So
Right.
I'll just send them their way.
Yep. More on the Japan side of things. We had Honda surprise everybody a couple weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, by building a rocket that nobody saw coming, and then Tokyo commits $8 billion, $7 billion, and then right after that, today's article.
But Honda and Astrobotic,
are
doing this.
Good.
Yeah, my boys at Astrobotic. I love those guys.
Yeah, that's a good pair. I'm pretty excited about that. That's a good team. Astrobotic has the technical know-how, and Honda has the deep bench and deep checking account.
Yeah.
So that's a good pairing. I really like seeing that. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens there. Trying to make a power grid for the moon, a modular power infrastructure for a broad customer base. So
more power to them.
Get at it, guys. Get at it.
Yeah.
Kind of winding down on the news. This is not a news story. Blue Origin is going to be building a larger suborbital fleet and more launch facilities. We've already talked about there's such a choke point in launch capabilities. The platforms, the spaceports themselves are overwhelmed.
Right.
We couldn't imagine that future 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
No, everything was horizontal.
Yep. So the future was horizontal. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not sure where they're going to put this, and I'm a little perplexed, and it doesn't really give you much of that answer.
Yeah. It's the other thing is too, and since you're talking about Blue Origin, they need to get moving on Blue Moon. They need to do something because Starship is not going to be ready for a lunar landing.
Right.
And it shouldn't be, because lately everything that stands vertically falls over, and everything that's short and squat lands safely.
Mm-hmm.
So we need Blue Moon to come up with their short and squat lander in time, and for right now, SpaceX needs to focus on Mars because that's what Starship is really built for.
Yeah.
I don't think you can land a Starship, something that big, that's tall and skinny, vertically on top of an uneven surface like that. Now, if they want to have robotics and make lunar materials and make a quick and dirty, flat, hard landing pad for it, and paint a big X on there,
right,
which is what they're used to finding,
right?
So then, okay, we could probably do that really well. In fact, we should have this guy on our show, Sam Jimenez. He's a guy that wants to build Mooncrete. And he wants to use robotics and AI and everything else. He has a formula. You dig up lunar regolith, you mix it with this, it becomes Mooncrete, and you just spread it out there and make an excellent service. We're going to need it anyway for long-term habitation. And he's developing the means to do that. And they should be, giving him a call right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Basically.
Sam is a great guy. Sean, that guy would be a great guy to get on the show. He really is terrific.
Sam Jimenez is spelled with an X.
Yeah. All right. Two more quick ones.
Or just one, because I have a bit of an intro for our guest this evening, because this is the rest of the show, is this topic. And
all right.
So
go ahead. Which one you want to do?
You want to just start?
Yeah, I pulled up the Gatorade article because I think it's important to the industry. But
okay, yeah, do that because I couldn't read it. Let's do that.
Okay, all right. I'll put that link in.
We got a minute.
So interesting. I had no idea the history of this, but somehow it was in my news feed today how $500 million in Gatorade royalties fuels innovation in Florida. So this guy is a guy who is a recipient of that grant, of that money. He's been working at University of Florida for years, the UF Gators, right? That's where Gatorade comes from.
Yep.
There's a little bit of history in here. It's been around for about since 1965, and little by little by little, and then over time, a lot of money has been royalties piling on for decades, has led to second and third and fourth level research breakthroughs that have also generated their own new money. It was a pretty compelling story. It's made me decide I'm gonna go look into the IP and the money flow of Gatorade, because I was just kind of fascinated by it. There's a paywall on the article. I was able to get it earlier today, but it's pretty neat. I was pretty surprised. So that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about, and turn it over to you, sir.
Okay. All right. So for the topic of the rest of the evening, I think this is damned important, and we're going to really hit this hard.
Yeah.
At the International Astronautical Congress, which was just completed in Sydney this last week, not all of it was a celebration of universal diversity and inclusion that they are so known and for and proud of, and shout from the rooftops. Now, tonight's guest is, we've had him on our show before. He is Kuang-Han Ke. He's founder and president of Gran Systems, a space electronics manufacturer. He had a small modest booth on the exhibitor floor. Just before the show floor opened, he had his display taken from him by the conference organizers, as one of the images on that display contained a business card-sized Taiwan flag embedded within it. No explanation, and the organizers, to the best of my knowledge, never gave the display back at the conference's end. So he had a display. He was still open. He was still able to do business on the show floor, but he had a whole wall that was just behind him that was just blank. I hope we're going to show you some pictures of that. So, Kuang-Han Ke, welcome to the show. This
Hello.
is a great topic, and we need to really jump on this hard. Good evening, sir. I guess it's morning. You're still in Sydney. Is that right?
I'm still in Sydney.
Well, it's 10 a.m. plus. Good morning to you, sir, on Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah, please share with us everything that went on. You sent us very in the last minute today, a very detailed explanation and the timeline of what happened to you with some images included. I don't know if Sean could put those images up there or not, but I'd like you to describe exactly what happened to you and who you think was responsible. We'll start with that.
Okay, so usually at any exhibition, we will just go put our display up and get ready for the show. And this time we got ready for the show the night before the opening, and I finished between 4 and 6 p.m. I finished putting up the show exhibition, and at 6 p.m. I left and getting ready for the next day. And then at 9 p.m. I got an email. Usually the email is so that the display shows that I put up the booth and it was ready to go. And then the email told me that there is according to the regulation, Taiwan flag needs to be discreetly covered. So I thought, okay, I didn't have anything so in the booth, so I wasn't worried. And so then at midnight, I got another email saying, please come to see us about your registration next morning before 9 a.m. And the next morning, I went and I discovered my booth was empty and with some garbage and a big wooden plate blocking my display. And then I went around and looking for the organizer from hall 1 to hall 3 in the front and hall 3 to hall 1 in the back, and then also to the registration. I couldn't find anybody, and this place was gone, and I was wondering what happened. And then there was as I returned to my booth, there was a lady there explaining that they was first trying to tape the display, tape over the flag portion, but they ended up saying that it's not acceptable still, and they took the whole display away. So that was what happened, and that was a brief summary.
Wow.
Who took
Tom?
that?
Tom, we're not hearing you. Tom, you're on mute.
Which organizers? Are we talking about? You said the organizers came and take it away. Well, there's like 4, discrete organizers, co-organizers for this thing. Which one do you suspect it is that manages this part of it?
I don't know. I don't know which portion of the organizers, but there can be different part of the organization. There are different levels. From the top IAF and the local organizer. So there, and also it can also be a contractor. So it's not clear, but the intent was clear.
Yeah. Sean's saying in the back that this is his favorite picture. Sean is saying in the background that picture of you guys pointing at the screen, the empty screen. Yeah. So are there rules? Like, did you break any rules? Is there something published that says you can't have a Taiwan flag?
I do not know if it's there. It's a very fine print. And so if there is a rule like that, that means no flag can be displayed from any country.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And maybe the last one,
I like that one.
The one with my display, the other one.
Yeah.
The previous one. Yeah, this one. This was my display. And the morning of the opening, they asked me to reprint and put a little gray bar over the flag. Do you see the gray bar?
Yeah, that was one thing I was looking for. When I saw this, when we talked about this at the time, it was the thing wasn't any bigger than a business card, and it was easy to forget about because you've used this thing before and it just didn't occur to you that that little tiny flag would be embedded in there, and that somebody somewhere, some Karen out there, took exception to it. And raised a stink. That's what had to happen. But who is the power behind this who says it's okay to do that? You could do that to Taiwan. You could do that to other people that can't easily defend themselves. But I don't get it because I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking about this a lot on the plane back. I'm going, what if? At this big international conference of universal peace and love and inclusion, the Dalai Lama decided to show up and make a speech. The speech was vetted ahead of time by everybody in the plenary session with thousands of people listening. He stands up there, and in the middle of his speech, he pauses, he departs from his usually prepared remarks and goes into a minor rant on the Free Tibet movement. Now, what would they do? Would they cut off his mic and the stage lights?
Yeah.
Somehow that's a real Fisher cut bait moment. It's really it's devil in the deep blue sea. What do I do? Oh God, what do I do now? I mean,
right.
This is we're talking about a modest satellite manufacturer from Taiwan. But what if it had been the other way around? What if it had been someone like the Dalai Lama speaking in public, and he went away from his prepared remarks and talked about Tibet pointedly for even 2 minutes? What would they do?
Well, it makes me wonder why they have that power in the first place. The committee or minions several layers down. Did they offer you any sort of refund? Do they offer you tickets for next year?
Nothing yet.
Like, you spend a lot of money to do this trip, and Tom's been there 11 days. I'm not sure how long you've been there, but just hotels, flights, the expense of putting the exhibit in the first place, membership, registration, is several $1,000s just to show up.
Yeah, Kuang, what was the cost of the booth? You told me that. What was the cost of the booth itself?
Like 6,000-7,000 euros.
Okay, so about $8,000, $8,500 just for that.
Yeah,
over and above the cost of the travel and the shipping and all that. Yeah,
$10,000-$15,000. Did you have anybody else with you?
No.
Was there anybody else on
myself.
The team? Okay.
And
I mean, that's still a $10,000-$15,000 investment that they can just cut down because they want to. I would lose my mind over this. Right. Put a Post-it note over it or two and call it good.
Yeah. And it's my property they took away, right?
Yep.
Right.
Without my consent.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm so angry about this on your behalf.
And why is this not? And Sean has it right. Why is this not an international incident of some kind? Why is everyone seem to be? You ask about this. Who's doing this? Why are you doing this? Why is such a keen interest in trying to now sweep it under the carpet?
Well, it succeeded. They did sweep it under the carpet, right?
And this is not the first time it happened.
Yeah.
And 7 years ago in Adelaide, another booth. At that time, NSPO's booth, they cover the word N of the NSPO. They cover the national. So it became SPO.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's some pretty sketchy stuff. Are you going to pursue any recourse? Is there anything you can do?
I'm going to discuss a little bit with my friends and see what to do next.
Okay.
And another company in the show floor, they have people inspected their contents also. And all the people, many attendees had their badge changed. So there were people with the badge with the Taiwan, and also some people has a label of Chinese Taipei.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I had a meeting with a couple of those folks. There's a couple of young ladies I talked to they were from Taiwan visiting, and they had their own purposes, and they were attending the SGC. And then IC later, and and one of them came up, talked to me about that too, and she was having the same issue. She was keeping a low profile, and this happens a lot, and it's just an unfortunate thing to happen because someone is exerting some influence somewhere.
Right.
Where's the church lady when you need her? Could it be Satan? Chinese Communist Party? I don't know. It's this is horrendous, and this needs to be spoken of a lot more. And just, I'm going to be shouting it from the rooftops myself. I'm not going to let this go, because some people I had some lunch with, a couple of us local Australian businessmen I know, suggested that this might be what they did, might be actually in a violation of Australian law, national law.
Well, they are stealing.
Oh,
yeah. Well, they're stealing, but they're also, I mean, the way they did it and for the reasons they did it may also violate certain aspects of Australian law about this individual
freedom of
liberty and
speech,
self
freedom of expression. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Were you able to do any business anyway? I mean, you were able to showcase what was happening on your LinkedIn profile and talking to Tom and some other folks, but were you able to do any work or any other, were you able to pull any contracts? Were you able to talk to people, or were people just walking past your booth because they saw it was an empty booth?
It's effective, but I've been in the industry 17 years, so a lot of friends came and support, and I saw a couple already on the floor. I saw a couple of hardware on the floor.
Okay.
So that's usual and as expected, and just trying to make lemonade out of lemon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, after this, on the third day, I started making drawings on the blank. You probably have seen that.
Yeah.
And
R2D.
we were.
Yeah.
It's the theme of the IAC this year is sustainability. So one product we offer is we call R2D3 CubeSats. Reentry, it's similar to R2D2, but one more. So reentry ready deorbit drag device. So I have a big sign of zero debris in the blank display.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, trying to make the best of it.
Speaking of that, is it a tether that you use to deorbit?
So we use a drag tape. It's a NASA technology licensed to a Californian company, and we are the licensed manufacturer, and we already finished pilot production, and we will be able to possibly make a production of 10,000 satellites if required.
Wow.
1,000 satellites a year.
1,000 satellites a year.
If
Fantastic.
there's needs.
Can you say who you're licensing it from, the tech in California?
California is a robotic system.
Okay.
Robotic system in Thousand Oaks, and we are the production house.
There were some guys down in San Diego and some others up here in Seattle that worked a lot on tethers, and I just kind of assumed it was something like that, but maybe it's a little bit different. Cool, I love it. It's good tech. It's kind of unfortunate that tether technology, the tape, hasn't become a de facto standard in the industry, because it's such an easy thing to do to deorbit.
And we flew it in 2022, and this year we are going to demonstrate the maneuverability capability. So it can deorbit, it can also maneuver, and we can also do stage deorbit.
That fascinates me. That fascinates me because when I was a kid playing with model rockets, there was one method of recovery called streamer recovery. You didn't deploy a full parachute. It was just this long paper streamer that would just slow it down just enough so it wouldn't break anything when it hit the ground. So here we're doing it again at a higher level.
Yeah.
Streamer recovery for satellites.
Yep.
And then if we also put, it doesn't require a propulsion system, but if we put a propulsion system, it can lower and it can go up again.
Okay.
So you can maintain different altitude.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's not an electromagnetic tether, though. It's not. You're not using the. You're not using the polar energy, the magnetic energy to move back and forth. You're using propulsion.
We can use propulsion.
Okay.
Actually, what you mentioned is interesting. If it's magnetic,
Yeah.
then possibly we can use right. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's that's why I was asking about the tether, because there's some folks down in San Diego, and then there's Tethers Unlimited up here in Seattle. They worked a lot on an electrodynamic tether that would allow you to use the magnetic energy of the Earth to move up and down as you're circling, and the tether was a really key element to that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can send you stuff on it if you're not aware of it. It's pretty
That's
neat.
pretty cool.
So you're using propulsion.
Well, we have propulsion that we can put on.
Okay.
But if it's magnetic, then maybe we don't even need any fuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a propulsion system, does the weight penalty then necessitate removing capability from the satellite itself? Or you're just adding this onto this finished satellite, and then the whole unit is just collectively heavier?
The propulsion unit would be, if their mission requires propulsion, then we put propulsion.
Okay.
So they would need the propulsion in the first place.
All right. I was wondering if there's an upper mass limit to the whole thing. You're adding propulsion onto it. Does the functionality of the satellite get reduced by amount because of the weight penalty? That was my question.
Possible, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But the deorbit device can handle probably 500 kilogram, maybe
Okay.
2 to 400 kilogram.
All right. That's pretty big.
I'm putting a couple links in the chat. You can take a look at them later.
Okay. There you
go. Yeah, it's cool tech. Tethers are an underappreciated asset in space. I mean, it's really kind of remarkable how they've really not made their way into mainstream. With as many objects as are up there now, I do question whether or not, a 10, 20 kilometer tail trailing behind you doesn't add to what's already a complex environment. But once upon a time, tethers were a pretty big deal. So, and what you would do is you would either put in direct current or alternating current, and it would lower or raise you in the atmosphere, or the edges of space, I should say. Anyway, it's interesting. Very cool stuff. So you saw a couple of your chassis out on the display floor. Like, other people were using it, and you got to talk to them about how your satellite buses were performing.
Actually, there were quite a few potential customers, but I was able to sell right on the show floor 2 of them. So
Okay.
we got already 2 customers on the floor.
Great, that's terrific.
Yeah, because we have the hardware there, and they have 0 delivery time.
Right, you've already got a bunch of them pre-built, so Yeah, you just put them in the mail.
No. They grab it and they pay there and they grab it on the floor.
That's even better.
Oh,
cash and carry.
Even
Here
better.
we go.
Cash and carry.
That's awesome. No. That's great.
Here is something, I guess we could start in on this. This is something that we hadn't done the last time we were here, but we started to do this to our guests, probably starting, in late May or something. Wanted to ask you a couple of questions. You've been watching the industry for a long time. You're participating in the industry, in a big way. Where do you see this industry going, say, in the next 5 years?
I think I see that in the next 5 years, there will be more applications for the space technology in different ways, and helping the earthbound terrestrial industries, and benefiting, having the integration of the terrestrial industries with space industry, and make value chain out of that. So that's what I see in the next 5 years. And your next question is 25 years.
Yeah.
So the 25 years, I would see this growing to be possibly encompassing to also low Earth orbit and possibly lunar surface for more serious infrastructure development.
Okay. All right. And so, of course, you want to see some of your stuff on the moon.
Yeah.
For that, right?
And hopefully, as also a semiconductor industry participant, possibly, and also machinery industry participant, maybe, and also we are involved in the medical equipment, so maybe we are possibly going to work on these three areas.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
machinery.
might see some of your medical equipment on a lunar base or something sometime, right?
Oh, maybe a lunar hospital.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
25 years.
Probably deployed by Astrobotic and operated by Honda. The way it looks right now.
Right.
Yeah,
but they'll still have Dr. McCoy in there, running the place.
Oh yeah,
it's a bloody dark ages.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, an AI doctor. Sean is an AI doctor, but they'll give him DeForest Kelly's voice, right? That'll be the
right.
Actually, in the hospital right now with the Da Vinci robot, it's already It's already robot, right?
I've cut a grape open with that Da Vinci thing. That's super crazy. It is surreal how powerful that thing is. I kind of lost my mind playing with it. It's very cool.
We live in interesting times.
We do. Right
on. All right. So what's next for you, Kuang? After you leave Australia, you just going back to Taiwan? You going back to Texas? I know you spend a good amount of time. You have a facility in Texas as well, so
I'm going back to Taiwan, and then Japan, and the Philippines, and then Texas.
Wow.
That's the end of the year.
That's a big travel schedule. Great. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you got going on in Texas? I don't think I heard that before.
So currently we are planning a test lab in Houston. Okay. And the equipment is still sitting in Taiwan.
The last time we talked to you, you were in Texas, but you didn't say what was going on there, so I missed that. All right, very good.
It was just the office at that time.
Okay. All right. Well, we're still trying to get a toehold back in Texas, but our friend Lisa is working on that. There's another week and a half or another conference in DC where the head of the Texas Space Commission will be there, and she is focused like a laser beam. So we'll see what happens with that. So I might be seeing you there sometime next year. And on that, Kuang-Han Ke, It's been so nice to have you back again. I'm sorry for what happened to you over this. I'm going to be making some inquiries still. I want to pin down who made the call and how that call was made. Under what protocol did they make that call, and who's ultimately responsible for it? And I'm going to be staying on this until we have some better answers. This is still an open, not ending story, and we will continue on with this. Thank you for being here, and
Thank you.
we'll see you again very soon.
Yeah.
Okay, as of tonight, we have no guest schedule for Thursday. Anything can change in the meantime, but if it doesn't, well, it'll be probably the usual hearsay, innuendo, and general tomfoolery over items in the news, as always, and other topics of interest, depending on what people want to talk about. As always, 8 p.m. Eastern. For Michael Lane and Sean Key in the news desk, the Center for Space Commerce and Finance, my name is Thomas Andrew Olson. Keep watching the skies.